So in this video clip, for I think right around 940 days, a father's life was turned upside down after his ex-wife kidnapped their two daughters. And I'm laughing, not because it's funny, but because it's so crazy. So the father gets up there and he's delivering what I think is a powerful victim impact statement to the judge. And you can see the judge is just sitting there studying him, and he's describing the emotional and the psychological trauma that he had to go through and that his children had to endure. And then he also criticized, I think her name is Trish or something like that, from the media for not helping him to find his missing daughters, but instead trying to get a piece for the news, for the media. So let's watch that and take a look at it.
Sandra says the children even beg the judge directly to remain with their mother. But the judge determines thus far there has been no evidence of, and based on the findings from a psychologist he appointed, that it is Sandra who is the real problem here. That the children are showing signs of parental alienation syndrome, meaning the reason the children are adamantly opposed to seeing David is not because he's them or their mother, but because Sandra has brainwashed them.
I've never done anything but be there for my children. My kids are my life.
This is where the judge takes a drastic and, for Sandra, devastating step. He orders Sandra out of the house and all 5 of her children removed from her custody.
Yep. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. These modern women all have the same playbook. And who is it a surprise to? Nobody. Especially not men. The same playbook. Well, Your Honor, he's the problem. He's doing this to the kids, and he's harming the kids, and he's mishandling the kids, and you hear the kids saying it, so it must be right. And so the judge, which kudos to that judge, says, you know what? Let's dig a little bit deeper and get down to the root cause of this. Hires outside experts, to which they say, you know what? This is actually not the father mishandling the kids. It's actually the mother that's lying and telling the kids that the father is doing this. Oh, man. These modern women continue to do the same thing. And a lot of times it works. Let's be honest. A lot of times it works. But now, in this situation, the judge held her accountable. And I'm happy about that.
A jury of her peers heard the overwhelming evidence presented against Sandy to convict her on the 6 counts of deprivation of parental rights. Sandy no longer understands what it means to be a parent, and therefore I do not believe she understands what she took from me, or more importantly, our children. To this day, I still do not understand why Sandy thought complete annihilation of our family was a good plan. She needed to first destroy me, the father of her children. In order to do so, she used our children, not appreciating that she was destroying them in the process. Nico was forced by Sandy to write false claims about me on his Facebook, which embarrassed our son with all his friends and filled him with enormous guilt. He was torn between the desire of trust and belief in his mother and his need to tell and finally tell the truth. He has done what he can to make sure his words, the words he knows, He has done what he can to make sure the world knows that the words on his Facebook page were not his. They were not the truth. They were his mother's words. She used him to try to hurt me, destroy my reputation, destroy my relationship with my children. I thank God every day that Nico and all our children are finally able to recognize the truth from the nightmare Sandy created. While I was following the instruction of the family court to heal our family, Sandy was creating an environment of paranoia and fear in our children. Sandy went to great lengths to convince our children that the world, that I was a monster. During this time, our children should have been focused on school, on their friends, having fun, and growing up. The time was spent being used by their mother to destroy their father. As to the long-term effect, what you did to our children, this will take them years, if not a lifetime, to comprehend the trauma and the pain you inflicted upon them. But sadly, our kids may be haunted for this the rest of their lives and will possibly never understand why their mother didn't just let them have the love and support of both their parents. You stole 2.5 years of their childhood from them. Time they'll never get back. Time will never get back. For 944 days, 2 of my kids were away from those who loved them the most. They were living in a desolate part of Minnesota with complete strangers. They didn't see a doctor, they didn't go to school, they didn't see any of their friends, and they didn't see any of their family. One of the worst days during this 944 days my girls were missing is when Trish Van Pilsen from Fox 9 showed up uninvited to my home. My daughters had been missing for 10 days, and law enforcement was working with me and my family to help find them. At the end of the interview, Van Pilsen told me that she had interviewed the missing girls but she refused to share the information on the location with me and law enforcement. She left me helpless. Knowing that she alone could help bring me to my girls, yet hiding behind the shield of journalistic integrity, she had the power to end this nightmare in just 10 days. Instead, it lasted 934 days. Even after repairing all the damage to the home, 2 of our kids were still missing. Even when it was noisy in the house, there was missing 2 voices. Even when the house was full, 2 were missing. 944 days with 2 missing. It was a living hell, a hell that Sandy designed and built as a vehicle to battle her own personal demons and enemies she created in her mind. Received a phone call from the Lakeville Police Department asking me to collect DNA and dental records for my missing girls was one of the lowest points. The wave of reality that my girls may never be found, or worse, may never be found alive, became a sudden reality. I wish I could go back in time and get Sandy the help she needs. While she is my ex-wife, she is the mother of my children. I want them to have a mother who truly loves them, as the children should be loved by both parents.
So we just saw how the dad delivered this story that is, I think, would be moving to anybody. And he laid bare the pain that his ex-wife caused by kidnapping their daughters for almost 3 years. He talked about how he feels that she poisoned his kids against him, and how the media basically let him down. And now the judge is about to speak. And you can tell that the dad is really feeling the weight of this whole thing. So let's see what she has to say.
I invite you to stand for sentencing. Why don't you come up to the podium, please? During this morning's hearing, I was deeply affected by Mr. Rucky's victim impact statement. First, Mr. Rucky, in his eloquent and heartfelt tribute to family, the strength of family, and to his children, described his relationship with the 5 Rucky children, the 5 Rucky offspring, who I have learned are vibrant and unique individuals, each in their own right. He lovingly described his relationship with his children And he described the impact of the events that led us to this day. Mr. Rucky described defendant's acts as the annihilation of the family. Truer words have never been spoken. The senselessness of these events have haunted each member of the Rucky family since April 19, 2013. The pain and the loss that each family member has endured is beyond comprehension. My heart aches for you. We do not live in isolation, and surely we are all reminded today of the ripple effect that one life has upon others. I was also touched by Mr. Rucky's words about a family that endures, a family that heals from trauma and pain. This is never an easy process, and it's often a process that bumps along, lurches along, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. A sentence will never heal the wounds that Mr. Rucky and the children have suffered. A sentence will not bring back precious time that was lost and experiences large and small that you all should have shared together. A sentence will not take away that pain. Ms. Grazzini Rucky, the jury's verdict was clear. You were found guilty of 6 counts of deprivation of custodial or parental rights. During the trial, you claimed, and you have always claimed, that you acted in the best interests of your daughters, that you acted as a loving mother. If so, it defies logic that you left your 3 other children in the custody of the father you claim was abusive. Your animosity for Mr. Rucky robbed you of good judgment, and it robbed your children of stable sibling relationships and the important connection to their father during formative teen years. Your animus towards Mr. Rucky spilled onto others, including the professionals whose paths crossed yours. There is a saying, my way or the highway. And on April 19, 2013, you literally took to the highway with your 2 daughters because you did not get your way in the family court proceeding. And those 2 children remained missing for 944 days. The family is the cornerstone of our society. I'm not a psychologist, a social worker, or an expert on child development. I am, however, a mother, a grandmother, and a judge. I believe without hesitation that our community, our children, your children, need and deserve the guidance and love that a father brings to their lives. So, as to the conditions of your probation, first, you will serve 250 days in the Dakota County Jail. You will receive credit for 133 days actually served. By my tally, you have 34 days to serve on the original term of confinement, and you will be taken into custody today to serve the balance of this confinement period. You will serve 15 days in jail during each year of your probationary term, and your 15-year jail sentence will begin on November 18 of each year, the day the girls were recovered, beginning in 2017. So you will surrender to the Dakota County Jail at 8 a.m. to serve 15 days on each of the following days: November 18, 2017, November 18, 2018, November 18, 2019, November 18, 2020, November 18, 2021, in November 18, 2020.
So I would say that the judge did look heartbroken listening to the dad. He's clearly upset with the mom for what she did to the kids. And it sounded like the judge thought the mom was totally selfish and really didn't even care about the damage that she caused. So the judge said, 250 days in jail right away, and then 15 more days every year for the next 15 years. There's people in the comments that are saying, and I tend to agree with them, you have, if it were to be a man, then he would have been in jail for 15 years. You kept the children from him for 6 years. And really all you got was a little under a year in jail. Plus you can come in for a 15-day stint here and there. You can go in for 3 weeks, get out, go in for 3 weeks, get out every year for the next 15 years is crazy. But, yeah, I understand why they don't agree with it. But I guess we're fighting for at least she got something, because a lot of times these women walk out scot-free. I hear some comments about it. Vicki Lawrence said, an example of why a mother is not always the best parent. Alicia Green says dads don't usually get a whole lot of respect in family court. So this was refreshing to see. What a horrible woman to do that to her family out of spite. Another user says she deserved the same time in jail that was stolen from the father. Shame on the judge and that state judicial system. And then there was one that said she should have served 940 days. No credit for time served.
I have nothing against Taylor Swift. I've never met her. And all the women inside this stadium are saying, fuck the patriarchy. Men built that stadium. Men built the stage she's standing on. Men made the guitar she's using. And men went to work to pay for their daughters to go listen to this. My daughter said, I want to go listen to someone say the patriarch. I said, you better get a job because the patriarchy is about to buy your ticket.
This is the wildest thing to me, and I never understand.
Okay, you ready, babe?
To go where?
To go to my best friend party. I told you it's a celebration.
It's -3 degrees outside.
Okay, it's a special occasion. You don't get it. Come on, let's go.
To the hospital? Because you're going to get pneumonia. It's freezing. Yeah, Lee's shaking.
I'm not even cold. What are you talking about? It's my best friend's birthday.
This is exactly what they be doing and suffering, and then want to take your stuff.
You didn't need a spot for that.
He never does.
Reach harder. That's all you do. Reach harder without me and you're fine.
You did not need a spot for that.
Are you okay?
That was crazy.
And it's diabolical because you knew he was offended. He just, the way he said it was like, oh yeah, you didn't need me, just reach harder. He tried to help you out before I walk off. But we see, he knew what was going to happen.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I get a spot for that stuff?
Sir?
Don't worry, I can spot you. Help me. Sorry, I couldn't hear you over you talking to my man. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Of course it won't. You won't be around.
Girl, I'll call the police on you. Come back and help me out.
Would question a lot of men out there, quite frankly.
Tracy, I can't
There's a
believe what I
reason
just
that
heard you
women live
say.
longer, Mark. Let me tell you. It is because we are stronger
Yes.
and we are happier at the end of the day than most men. And that is factual, and you know it.
When men are married to women who scream like you, they just want to die sooner.
Obviously, moving to South Africa is a big step. So obviously I've got to transfer with work. Obviously he's offered to let me stay there whilst we get to know each other. My question is...
No.
Yeah, just no.
No.
You have lost your mind, and it's
barely
good
know him.
to find it. And that's what we're here for. We are the finders of minds.
22.
You
wanna move
went
to
on a
Joburg?
holiday. How long was you there for?
2.5 weeks.
2.5 bloody weeks.
Yeah.
And you met him. What's so different about him to...
Do you know what it was? When we spent his lunchtime break together and we're getting to know each other.
That's all you're worth, a lunchtime break.
Not even a date.
Where was you? Did he work in the water park?
Yeah, so he was the one that nods the people to go down.
What kind of rookie mistake? Babe, every girl knows whenever you go to these all-inclusive resorts and these places abroad, you never fall in love with the lifeguards. You have to work to take you somewhere nice.
What does mum say?
Okay, so mum knows that I want to move, but she thinks I want to move for work, which I do. I do want to move for work.
Can I just be honest again? Let me tell you why you're stupid. You know when you was filling out the form and writing next of kin, you think I'm not going to tell your mum? You think I'm not going to show her this video? You're not going, sis. You're not moving halfway across the world for some mediocre lifeguard. What's going on here? Huh?
I love
Stand up,
him.
wake up.
You love...
I feel sick. I'm going to throw up. I feel sick.
This man put it on her. For you to move across the country for a lifeguard. This man put it on her. For real. He did something. Nah. Okay. he did a little something to it.
This is something you women gotta get through your head, wrap your psyche around. A black man can love and cherish his mother and at the same time not want to date black women. So the first thing a black woman says is, oh, you must hate yourself. You must hate your mama if you don't want to date black women. He loves his mother because she birthed, raised, and nurtured him for his entire life. He don't love her because she's a black woman. He loves her because she's his mother. He don't care. I don't care what she is. She could be a chimpanzee. It doesn't matter. She's nurtured him his whole life, and she deserves his love. That don't mean he want to date a black woman. He ain't got to date his mama. He ain't got to be attracted to his mama. He ain't got to put up with his mother every day and her attitude and her mood swings and all of that. He didn't get a chance to choose his mother, but he can choose his mate. And if he don't want a black woman, that ain't got nothing to do with what he feels about his mother or any other black women in his life. He can love his mother, his godmother, his aunts, his grandmother, his sisters, and everybody else. And that don't mean he want to date them. Every time a black man don't want us, here we go. Oh, he's sassy. He down low. He must be commitment shy. Here go my favorite one. Who hurt you? He ain't hurt just because he don't want to date us. Y'all hurt because they don't want to date us. You got it? Good.
If you're not used to having a good man in your life, or if you might have seen that growing up, you can do all the healing work that you want to do. But when the good man comes, can you handle that? Because he's going to be a trigger, and you're going to have to know how to decipher intuition and fear, because they feel the same. The version of you that you are right now is why you have what you have. You got to make a complete identity switch to get something different. When people aren't ready to do that, they will always go back to the low-hanging fruit that they're accustomed to.
Powerful quote. Is it intuition or is it fear? Too many modern women on here talking about always trust your gut. Your gut isn't telling you the right thing right now.
There are more women on this planet than men. In the United States, we have about a quarter of our population in jail. Another quarter of our population identifies as LGBTQ. So with that being said, it is a nigga shortage out here. It is a shortage of available good niggas out here. So for all you bitches that think you deserve your own nigga, like your own personal nigga, like that's only yours. Like, okay, it's some women that do. But are you that bitch? Like, what do you bring to the table and make you think you deserve your own nigga and a nigga shortage? Sis, grow up. You gonna have to shit. That's our nigga. Here's a little fun fact.
Now, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying you need to realize what it is that you need to be bringing to the table.
All right, I'm getting I'm not there. I'm not even close. And you rushing me just ticks me off more than anything.
Guys, if a woman is ignoring your needs when it is inconvenient for her, then she is showing you exactly how much support she's going to give you when life gets challenging.